A lot of people have achieved great things in their lives. Some have made a lot of money. Some came in right at the bottom and climbed the corporate ladder all the way to the top. Others will tell you, I built this house myself. But very few people will say, God opened doors for me so that I could have a successful business. Very few people, when asked what is the secret to their success, will say, it's because of God's grace and favor. In this video, I hope to show you that God is working on your behalf in more ways than you know. I pray that you will see the Lord is defending you in battles you don't even know about. But before I show you some of the signs that point to the hand of God fighting for you, I want to tell you about an incredible story I came across. One day, in October 2009, the father and son duo of Ron Lemming Jr. and Sr. said a small prayer for guidance and safety before heading deep into the Wyoming wilderness to hunt elk. One thing to note is that when the father said the prayer, he said, God, guide my arrow today and let it find its mark. Little did the men know that this prayer would be answered and it would save their lives. Now, while they were hunting, Ron Lemming Jr. heard a twig snap behind him, and he turned around only to meet the gaze of a wild grizzly bear standing a few feet away. Now, for those who don't know, grizzly bears are powerful, top-of-the-food chain predators. They are large animals, and if you're near their habitat, they can be especially aggressive. Now, with the bear not standing too far off, what could Ron Lemming Jr. do? It was too close for him to get his weapon out and draw it, and so the next best thing he could do was run. And so he did. But within a matter of moments, the bear caught up, and Ron Lemming Jr. was fighting for his life. Now, meanwhile, his father, Ron Lemming Sr., while watching from a short distance, does the only thing he could do, which was to shoot an arrow at the bear. And so as his son is lying on his back, fighting the bear, Ron's father came up to try and save his son by hitting the bear in the back with his bow. And then suddenly, the bear stopped and begins to head in the opposite direction when it drops dead. The arrow that the dad shot had wounded the bear and gone straight to his heart. Both father and son survived and lived to hunt another day. So why am I telling you this story? Well, just like the grizzly bear all of a sudden appeared from nowhere, in life, the devil can sometimes sneak up on you. The Bible says he is an enemy that comes to steal, kill, and destroy. But you see, much like this survival story, if Ron Lemming Jr. was on his own, he would not have survived such an encounter. And for us, too, if we are to fight the enemy on our own, we would not survive. But we have a Father who is our shield and defense. We have a God who fights our battles. He fights for us. Now, it's important to recognize how God is fighting for you, because when you see God's hand in your life, you will live with gratitude in your heart. You will truly be thankful for God's goodness. How can you see the evidence of God fighting for you? The first way, and probably the most exciting way that God fights for us, is when we experience the suddenly moment. And I am talking about the sudden miracle, the sudden deliverance. In the book of Exodus, when the Israelites were trapped, they had Pharaoh's army behind them, and a large body of water, the Red Sea, was in front of them. It was in this difficult moment where they experienced a suddenly moment, and God parted the waters to rescue them. And I believe just as the sudden deliverance unfolded, God can intervene in unexpected ways to fight for his children, even today. It may not be as dramatic as the Red Sea parting, but it can be something noticeable, such as narrowly escaping a certain car accident without any reasonable explanation that makes sense, except to say it was divine intervention. A suddenly moment can come to the person facing a terrible financial situation, and just when all hope seems lost, they received an unexpected job offer with a salary that provides for their needs. These are all examples of suddenly moments when God fights on our behalf. Next, I want to talk about the supernatural victory. Think of a battle where the odds are overwhelmingly against you, and yet you emerge victorious through supernatural means. In 2 Chronicles 20, King Jehoshaphat faced an army too vast to conquer. God instructed them to sing and worship as they advanced into battle. Miraculously, their enemies turned on each other, and victory was secured. Just as the supernatural victory manifested, God empowers his people to overcome insurmountable challenges. Daniel experienced this while he was in the lion's den. Joshua experienced this when he marched around the walls of Jericho until they came down. And as a modern-day example, imagine the patient who is diagnosed with a serious illness, and after treatment, the doctors have done all they can. There is an unexpected recovery, a miraculous turnaround, or an unexplained healing that leaves the doctors astonished. This is another way God fights for us. The third way that God fights for us is what I call the perfectly timed rescue. Imagine a hostage situation where time is running out, and rescue appears impossible. Suddenly, a perfectly timed intervention occurs, and every captive is set free from danger. I have personally experienced this. I've prayed for God to intervene, and just when I thought it was too late to turn things around, God did just that. He turned things around in the nick of time. In Psalm 34, verse 17, we read, "The righteous cry out, and the Lord hears them. He delivers them from all their troubles." Time and again, God orchestrates divine interventions just in time, all so that he can protect his children. I have heard countless stories of missionaries working in dangerous regions of the world, and they come face to face with imminent danger. But just at the right time, they receive an unexpected opportunity to leave before they can be harmed. This is a sure way of knowing God has acted on your behalf. My final example is for the mature believer, because it is the supernatural peace in the midst of chaos. Consider a storm raging around a ship at sea, threatening to engulf it. Yet within the vessel, there is an inexplicable peace that surpasses understanding. When the disciples were in a storm, Jesus calmed the storm with 3 words, "Peace, be still." And this left his disciples in awe of his power. Well, peace can only be there during chaotic times if God is with you.